Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, withdrew his attempt to secure a bail hearing after prosecutors presented evidence showing that Diddy had been involved in witness tampering while in prison. A leaked phone call between Diddy and his son, Christian Combs, is said to have undermined his chances of receiving bail. The specific content of the conversation and the extent of the damage caused by this new evidence are now crucial elements in the case.
Prosecutors say not only is Sean Combs not entitled to bail, but essentially he shouldn't even get a hearing on this. And remember, Combs is currently in detention at the Metropolitan Detention Center out in Brooklyn, New York, after being denied bail by other judges. The main issues keeping him locked away are that the courts have held that the prosecutors have shown that he is a danger on the outside, he's a potential flight risk. Most notably was evidence put forward that he had been improperly contacting victims and witnesses in this case. And as we discussed on previous sidebars, Sean Combs' counsel has denied all this. They've indicated that all of those conversations were not done with the intent to engage in witness tampering or obstruction. And even, at least they say, one witness had contacted Combs, not the other way around. Well, the government has come out with new evidence of its own to justify pretrial detention. And let me just read you this from the beginning of their brief. They say, while attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case, and contacted witnesses through third parties? What? And that's not even half.
Diddy's legal troubles have intensified as his bail was denied for a third time, now accompanied by an additional charge of witness tampering. Call records from the Metropolitan Detention Center show that Diddy attempted to contact witnesses directly and also enlisted others outside the facility to intervene on his behalf. During the bail hearing, the judge ruled that Diddy posed a threat to both public safety and the witnesses, which ultimately led to the decision to deny bail.
Right at the end of the day on Wednesday, it reads, the court has evaluated each of the factors that it must consider under the relevant law. 1, nature and circumstances of the offense charged. 2, weight of the evidence against the person. 3, history and characteristics of the person. And 4, nature and seriousness of the danger that would be posed by the person's release. And it also says that the court has also reviewed the information submitted by Combs and the government across all 3 bail hearings in this case. As you remember, Sean Combs was denied bail both by a magistrate judge and a district court judge. Judge Subramanian writes, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence, so that's the standard, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. In support of this finding, the court provides the following reason.
Diddy is urgently seeking his release from jail, aware that once the witnesses in his case testify, his chances of freedom will be lost. A leaked document revealed that he offered $50 million in bail money to secure his release. He has already submitted his and his family's passports to the court, but concerns over a possible secret second passport led the judge to deny his release. As the legal proceedings continue, the situation grows increasingly dire for Diddy.
His team has said, we're going to put together the proposed bail package. A $50 million bond, co-signed by him, his mom, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. It's going to be secured by the equity in his property in Miami, Florida. Home detention, his passport will be surrendered. The government said that's insufficient. They said, look at the charges, look at the weight of the evidence that I just mentioned. They said they have allegations that he and his associates were trying to tamper with witness testimony last year so that they wouldn't cooperate with the government. What do you take away about who has the stronger argument in terms of bail?
Well, I think his counsel has done the best they possibly can. I think bringing him there voluntarily is very smart, starts them out on the right foot. But I think the last thing that you just mentioned, the interfering with witnesses.
That's the allegation, yeah.
Yeah, if that's true, or I should say, if there's real indicia that happened, I think that might tip the scales in favor of not letting him out pending trial, because I think, and you know this, I think judges take an extraordinarily dim view of that. And that might be the factor that tips the scale again.
The decision to deny Diddy's bail and keep him in federal custody until his trial in May 2025 followed the release of a call record revealing what he had been telling his son. The leaked conversation further implicated Diddy in witness tampering and raised concerns about his potential to influence the case. This evidence was pivotal in the judge's decision to keep him incarcerated leading up to the trial.
We made a bail appeal to Judge Carter. It did not go our way. The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and, I believe, inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. And I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me, but everything's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial. And I'm going to be pushing for that. He's ready. He's focused. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process. But wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The prosecution asserts that in the leaked call, Diddy allegedly instructed his son to take care of the witnesses, referring to them as pizza boxes. He also mentioned having tapes, which he described as plastic. These statements are considered key evidence in support of the charge of witness tampering and have significantly bolstered the case against him.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting. What the f*** is this motherfucker doing? These things sweet now because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. No. Hey, yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie. Alright, Pop. It's crazy right now. Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker on him. Yeah? Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh. What about all these lawsuits, though, Pop? Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry.
Diddy's apparent desperation to contact witnesses despite knowing his phone is tapped seems driven by his fear of the growing evidence against him. Additional tapes are reportedly surfacing, allegedly showing Diddy in sexual relations with minors, which could have devastating consequences if made public. So far, 8 such tapes have been handed over to the FBI by a close friend of Diddy's late ex-wife Kim Porter, along with a document she purportedly wrote detailing Diddy's crimes. This escalating evidence appears to be amplifying Diddy's anxiety about his future.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded, having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were, all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
Diddy is reportedly going to extreme lengths to keep the tapes hidden, aware that anyone possessing them could jeopardize his freedom. Allegedly, he has been attempting to silence these individuals by calling them and offering payments to inmates in exchange for using their phone privileges, believing this would help him evade detection. However, Diddy failed to recognize that all calls in and out of prison are legally wiretapped, as there is no expectation of privacy in such communications. Consequently, his private calls are not protected under the Fourth Amendment, making it easier for authorities to gather evidence against him.
My thing with Diddy is, why is he trying to get in contact with witnesses? He gotta know they recorded the calls, right?
My man, in order to you to think that you could get away with doing any kind of witness tampering in prison, you gotta probably be one of the smartest, dumbest persons, because they tape everything, bruh. Don't you know when he was using those other people's cards and they phone cards and everything like that, and they hear it, that person was like that. Hold up. That's supposed to be inmate 076. And Puff inmate number is 0666. Why is 0666 coming over on 0607? Why is Puff stuff coming over on his card? Hold up. Did he just say, take that, take that? Do I hear, bad boy, come out and play? They know his voice. And now for him to be giving people instructions to do things, like I say, he got to be one of the smartest dumb MS we know. So if they got him on there telling people to get in touch with people or tell people to stop, the guards are being closely monitored. Because it was said that he was on a cell phone. And I don't think you could have a cell phone in the Brooklyn House of Detention, the Brooklyn or the Manhattan House of Detention. I don't think you could have a cell phone. And I heard that he had a cell phone. He made some calls to some people. So they're gonna watch the guards closely, because if you remember with the Epstein case, and check this out, those 2 guards that were supposed to be brought up on charges because they falsified records, you ain't heard nothing else about them.
Even if Diddy's calls hadn't been tapped, his fate still seemed sealed, as the very tapes he used to intimidate his victims are now in FBI custody. These individuals are no longer under his influence. Multiple witnesses have come forward, reporting Diddy's illegal calls and claims that people close to him have attempted to silence them with monetary offers. One witness, a minor, allegedly received a $100 million offer in exchange for silence, as they possessed a tape of a compromising encounter. These revelations are significantly bolstering the case against Diddy.
And you right about Diddy's phone being tapped, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Dunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D. Ferg mom enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors, enough is enough.
You didn't tell me about that. So he tried to get somebody to reach out to you?
No, I got a phone call from Kirk Burroughs. And Kirk Burroughs, and I ain't gonna even give this guy no play. Not Kirk Burroughs, but one of the Puff dudes that I know that's real close to him said, Kirk told me, yo, he wanna reach out to you, Gene. He wanna speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Burroughs did say to me that the dude said enough is...
Despite the judge's decision to deny Diddy's bail, his attorney has announced plans to try again, insisting that Diddy will continue pushing for bail until he succeeds. However, this strategy may backfire, as Diddy should focus on preparing for his trial instead of expending energy on further bail attempts. Reports detailing Diddy's history of threatening witnesses, manipulating individuals, and being linked to arson and murder have seriously weakened his chances. Given these allegations and the severity of the charges, it seems increasingly unlikely that he will be granted bail.
He might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches. And in one of the cases, in this particular case, they said that when they did the impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information. And the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his case be properly, what do you call it when they client get they client and lawyer privileges. He can't properly do his case with, you understand, with them constantly going into jail cells, searching him, taking his legal briefs, taking his information, and then probably using it against him. But I don't believe none of that to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You gotta realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone cards. Now that probably happens all the time. You understand? And he gotta be probably the smartest, dumbest person that I know, because he gotta know that those phone calls are being taped. So whatever his lawyers and them come up with, the prosecution's gonna come up with something else. So the judge is gonna wanna know, well, what did they do, when they found out he was in violation of some of this stuff that he was doing? Did they charge him with something new? Did they take some of his privileges away? What has happened in the interim of him doing this stuff that they alleged that he done? So it's gonna be a whole forestry of next week, because what they did was they held off whatever the procedures was gonna go down today. The judge say he gonna revisit this next week. So I guess, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll find out what's going on, but it's gonna be something that I think it may shock the world.